Chicago. Ask someone to picture the city, and they will have trouble coming up with a concise description. When people think of New York City, they think of skyscrapers, subways, and muggers. When they think of Los Angeles, they think of sun, smog, and traffic. When they think of Detroit, they think of cars, factories, and decay. But for those of us that know, there's only one thing we think of when someone mentions Chicago: vampires. And tonight, we tell their story. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Windy City After Dark. I am, of course, your storyteller, Shaky McStabber.
And I'm Rylyn Dare, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and tonight I'll be playing Jacqueline Duron of Clan Venture.
And I am Lady Merowith, and I will be playing Eleanor Thurston of Clan Malkavian.
Good evening, I am the Ivy Raven. I will be playing Genevieve Schutz of Clan Gangrel.
I'm Miriam, and I'll be playing Roscoe Akers, Clan Tremere.
I'm Gavin, and I play Lamarcade of Clan La Sombra.
I'm Mickey Bear, and I play Sam Grant, Clan Bruja.
And when we were last with this coterie, it was a tense night, but it ended with an even more tense situation as the sheriff has showed up to officially take them to see the prince. And this is where we're actually picking up tonight. And as you're taken out to the front of the club, there's two vans pulled up out front. And you see people in the vans already. Damien looks the group over. I want Lamar, Jackie, and Eleanor in that one. Sam, Jenny, and Roscoe, other van.
Got it.
Aye, aye, sir. Genevieve will climb into the van she was directed to.
And when you get in the van, the window van, it's got dark shade, but it's enough you could tell it was full of people. And when you get in the van, it's definitely, each one already has 4 other people waiting in it, in the seats, in the back seats. And then the driver. The van that Lamar is getting into has nobody in the passenger seat, but appears Damien's heading that way. And you all recognize these individuals in the van. They are hounds. All of them are Damien's hounds. Matter of fact, based on the numbers, you think you have all of them that are known hounds in the vehicles. There's 4 in each vehicle, counting the driver. 5 in the other, and 1 because nobody's in the passenger or somebody's in the passenger seat. So you're looking at 9 hounds and a sheriff. We're going for a ride.
Jackie doesn't say a word.
And he reaches over. Let's go, Jimmy. And the vans pull off. Oddly enough, yes, for anyone looking, there is no Alexa. She is not here with this crew. But as the vehicles pull off, you're left to ride, I assume in silence. I don't think anyone wants to speak in front of this body of individuals. As you're actually taken to the Chicago Museum of Art. And the vehicles pull up in a garage nearby that's linked to it. Damien hops out. Follow me. And as you're being brought into the museum, you're actually, all the hounds, except for the drivers who stayed behind, are surrounding the group, giving you a full escort in. And you're brought into the main area of the museum. Right here, I'll be right back. And you see Damien go down one of the side galleries. He comes back a minute or two later. Jenny, the princess asked for you to remain here with us. The rest of the coterie, that way. You'll find him.
Jackie steps forward.
And the coterie goes deeper into this museum, passing quite a number of bits of art. Until you see, oh, it's obviously Prince Jackson. The sheer size and imposing figure he cuts when he's standing there, staring at a painting. But it's obvious he can hear you step coming up. Turns around and looks at everybody.
Is it only him in the room?
Only him. No one else.
Jackie will curtsy.
I curtsy as well.
Lamar bows his head.
And Roscoe will give him a deferential nod as well.
Same.
I would ask if you understand why you've been brought before me. But I don't think we need to have that now, do we?
No, we do not.
I want to know. Well, I want to fucking know how this happened. I want to know how the fucking Archon is in my fucking city. And I don't know about it. I want to know how Tally can pluck one right out of the downtown area. Not a word, not a peep. And I want to know why the fuck Lucinda's in my city and who the fuck brought her here.
I was not at liberty to tell you that an Archon was in the city.
So you knew?
Yes.
And who the fuck could tell you not to tell me who's in my city? You know the traditions.
I do know the traditions. I know them exceptionally well, Prince Jackson. I also know hierarchy and propriety, and I was ordered by someone superior to Archon Wilhelm to maintain his security and to provide hospitality while he recuperated.
And you see his hands clench at his sides. When did you find out?
Of the attack?
Yes.
Likely 30 minutes after it was initiated.
Why the fuck did I have to have Lucinda showing up on my fucking doorstep to tell me about this shit?
Because she said she was going to take care of that. Basically, it was an order. To keep our mouths shut, and she would handle it.
Oh, she's handled it all right.
I understand.
Well, let me throw this right out there. We accepted you into the city, Mr. Cade. We gave you a chance to join us. Was this the plan all along? Was it a setup?
Not under any circumstances, my prince. You have shown hospitality. You have been extremely gracious, and I am extremely appreciative of that. This situation was even outside of my control. Tally took one of my people and demanded that I meet with him. Otherwise, I wouldn't be seeing him again. So rather than piss off an elder, I decided I was going to go ahead, figure out what he wanted, and then see what I could do about it.
Are you aware Tally hadn't paid the sacrifice? Do you know this?
I don't keep in touch with him much. What I knew was that he handpicked me to be part of this and then told me and basically gave me the "don't fuck this up for us" speech. So I'm here minding my business, trying to stay above board. And then he calls me to this motel on the outside of town, tells me he's done all this crap, and then still takes my phone and makes sure that I'm stranded. So I have to try to find a car and Uber back. And I wasn't able to get information anybody but my coterie. And it took me about half an hour to get there, which is why Jackie didn't find out about what happened until she did.
What the fuck part did you have in this, Sam?
Majesty, once we got word that this was going down, Jackie called us Mr. Rand called us to action, and we attempted to pull off a rescue. Fortunately, we were a day late, $1 short.
See, here's my issue. Oh, please, continue. Continue. Let's get this all thrown out here. Because I have an issue.
I serve at your pleasure, Prince.
You see, Tally's a right fucking bastard. And we know what he did with Theo Bell. I don't give a shit what Theo Bell claims. Tally's a corrupter. He took a loyal member of the Camarilla, Archon of distinction, and turned him to blow off Hardestad's head. Now I got a new Bruja joining my city, loyal to the Camarilla. And here's Tally killing an Archon. Well, am I next? Was that the goal?
Prince, if I may. I understand the situation is distressing. However, you are aiming your wrath at the wrong targets. I have never seen a group of kindred step up and mobilize so quickly to come to the aid of an agent of the Tower as I have seen in this coterie. Every single one of us is loyal.
See, I like that. But I want to point something out. Eleanor, what do you know about Sun? I've spoken with Alan.
I don't know anything. If it is that he is missing that you are asking me of, I know nothing of that disappearance.
See, I had a talk with Alan. And he said that when he was doing the rounds checking the Malkavians to ask about Sun, You were a bit evasive. Do you see how this
Evasive?
looks?
Evasive was the term that he used.
Well,
Surely it's not just distress at learning that the primogen of my clan is up and disappeared.
he actually used the term the little bitch is hiding something. But I'm trying to be polite.
You are incredibly polite, Your Majesty. And I curtsy.
So you know nothing about it?
I know nothing about it, Your Majesty.
And I'm not going to make Eleanor roll because you don't have a memory of it. It's gone. You see, here's the thing. The Sinshaw tells me the Malkavian knows something about a missing Malkavian primogen. We've got a Lasombra who is handpicked to be in the delegation by Tally when Tally goes and kills an Archon in the city. We got a new Bruja to the city that was vouched for, let me be frank, Roscoe, by a rather suspect Tremere with a whole fucking chantry of suspects. This can't stand. And Jackie, I put you with these people in hopes you could show them a way. See, I picked you all to be in a coterie for a fucking reason. I wanted to show the kindred of this city that we could have a mix of clans, high and low, working together to show the new Camarilla the way the tower should be.
I strive to accomplish that every night.
And if I may, Your Majesty, she's doing a damn good job.
So you saw him tonight, or the other night. What did he say, Mr. Cade?
He brought me to this motel, told me he wasn't actually going to harm my retainer, and then started in on some garbage about duties and obligations, and he had obligations that he had to pay back, and brings out this woman by the name of Lillian Sanger, who then proceeds to rifle through my skull against my will. And I was really too shocked to go over anything else, but he told me that he's responsible for a lot of the issues that have been happening around the city lately. And I was, between what she did to me and the bullshit he was saying, I was too shocked to really do anything, because I didn't understand any of it, why he was doing it. And then they took my phone and they stranded me at the motel.
What other issues in the city?
He said something about the issue with the lupines. He knew about it, and he said that he had a hand in that. And they asked me about the Archon. I didn't know who he was. I'd only seen him like twice ever, but they kept asking me, like, who was he? Did he have, friends? I'm like, there's a city full of fucking Ventru. What do you want me to say to that? And from there, it was over and they were leaving.
And when he finished speaking, he actually turns around, looks at a pedestal that has like a vase on it, and he actually kicks the pedestal over.
I would like to roll Jackie's finance roll on that to know exactly how much money he just kicked.
Intelligence,
and broken.
finance, that works perfectly fine.
It's only 2.
You're not sure you could attach a value to it. You know it's at least 300 or 400 years old. Look to be definitely Asian.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't place, in the wreckage of it, you can't place the exact thing. You might be able to finagle yourself to look at the placard that was with it, but...
She will not move at this time.
So that fucking bastard was behind starting up a fucking lupine war in my fucking city.
From what he was saying to me, yeah, it sounds like that, my prince.
And I met Lillian Sanger once, a few decades ago. She came while Loden was in charge. Said she had some business in the city. So now I'm caught in a fucking situation that I have to figure a way to deal with. I have also been instructed to keep this shit under wraps, what happened. Now, that also means that still applies to you. If I get one word that this comes around the city anywhere, if I even get a hint of it, Alexa will pay you a nice little visit in your haven. Do we understand each other?
Of course, there's no need for threats. We are loyal and we will keep our mouths shut.
I'd love to punish the shit out of all of you because I understand you get orders. Something could have been said. This could have been averted somehow.
I was unaware the perpetrator was in the city at all.
Well,
until
you're
the
not
moment
the only
of the strike.
Definitely not the only one.
Had I known, I would have told you.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with Nick over that shit because he's supposed to be warning me of shit like this.
Tally is exceptional.
Oh, I know. It's not the first time he's been in Chicago. And every time he's come here, he's left bodies in his fucking wake. So I can't punish you for this publicly. But you're on notice. Toe the line, keep your heads down. Find a way to make me forget you're even here for a little while. Or, if I notice you, make sure you're doing something to show the loyalty.
Jackie will curtsy at that.
I took a risk at allowing the Lasombra to come join us, because I think it's worth it to have a unified tower. And I took a risk at allowing an unknown Bruja into the city, because I hope that we can have another like Damien. Useful, productive, and loyal. And I'll be frank, we're not out much losing sun. But if I find out you had anything to do with it, still, the right of destruction or otherwise harming a member of the Primogen Council only has one punishment. I'm sure we're clear on this.
Crystal.
Absolutely.
and you see him actually hold his hand out.
Jackie stands, takes his hand, kisses the ring on it, and steps away.
And he looks to the rest of you.
Sam follows suit.
I do the same, but with a deep curtsy as I step away.
I do the same. Well, not the curtsy, but I kiss the ring.
And Lamar will do the same. Hold it for a moment, and then he'll raise up and back up.
Good, you all can show the proper deference to the power structure here. One additional thing before you leave. Out of respect for the Ventrue, who by your own word is trying to help you integrate, I won't force a bond. This time.
Your benevolence is appreciated.
Damien will take you back. And he turns back to look at the painting.
Jackie will turn and leave.
And when you go back to the main area, Jenny, they haven't said a word to you or each other. They've just sat basically in a circle blocking the exit in a loose line. And when you see the coder, you can hear them coming back as they're getting closer to the entrance. Damien looks over everybody. You see him do a brief shrug. Load up. And pick whatever vehicle you want.
Jackie will just get in whichever one's closest.
Okay. And as you're riding back, you all notice that they seem to be less on edge. It's a little less tense from the hounds in the vehicle. Almost like the fact that you walked out of the room was the signal.
Yeah, they weren't summoned in.
And you're brought back to the club, where Damien drops you off, and without a word, let's go, Jimmy. We got work to do tonight. And the vans drive off, leaving the coterie outside their club.
Would you all please join me in the conference room?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
And we all go to the conference room.
At the end, as you come in, he definitely has a worried look on his face.
All is well.
I'll let Peter know he was.
I'm sure he was. All is well.
And Miss Eleanor, we sent Michael out to get something because he was really not handling it well.
Mm-hmm.
We sent him out to get Peter and I some coffee.
Oh.
Just sorry we had to do that, ma'am.
No, that's quite all right. He gets a little antsy, and I'm glad that you found him something to do that is within his power to do.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I do hope that the order is correct. He's quite fastidious in that manner.
Oh, he's actually been rather good at that. At remembering things when people like certain things as long as it doesn't interact with his sensibility.
Oh, yes.
Ma'am, we'll be outside the conference room.
Perfect. Thank you. The prince is understandably distressed. I basically, that night, shielded you from the wrath that is Justica Lucinde. I'm sure she loaded both barrels at him. Honestly, she is a heinous bitch. But The situation, being what it is, has led to the prince being highly defensive. And I recognized myself in our prince tonight. I have been, for years now, in a state of distress. And it has been compounded over the past year that we have been together. Some of us are newer. By external and internal threats. I have layered myself quite thoroughly in defense mechanisms and become reactionary to provocation. I do not wish to exist in that state. It is not pleasant, and I do enjoy my pleasure with my business. I apologize for any difficulty I have brought to the group with working with me due to that behavior. I know it can be very unpleasant. I am even older than our prince, so it can get very unpleasant, I'm sure. The event has led to me realizing that I have existed in a state of being in the shadow of my sire. And I have been defensive ever since that has happened. I need to take some time to reacquaint myself, to center, to find who I am without that shadow over me. But I am always available if my assistance is required. And with that, she will actually hand a personal business card to Genevieve. That number can always reach me.
Thanks. Genevieve will pocket the business card.
I understand these are things that happened while you were not with us. You are so new. But there has been some long-standing issues that came to a culmination tonight. And we all need to keep our heads down, because the prince is pissed off. And, well, a pissed-off venture is a very dangerous thing. Now, of course, if anyone has anything to say, please do so.
The other night, and a few times before that, I've said some things that I regret. Things that you didn't deserve.
I hear you, Sam.
You're a hell of a woman, Mr. Rand.
You're not so bad yourself, Mr. Grant.
Whoever you decide you want to be, I got your back.
It is appreciated. I understand that words are cheap. Especially for someone like me that can have a whole cacophony of words at her disposal at any given moment. I, at my root, am a woman of action. At my root, I make shit happen. I will take this time to prove through action that I regret the behaviors I have displayed. I will strive to be better, to rise above the defensiveness. Is there anything else? I would hear you all.
Can I say something real quick, just so it's out there? I came into this and I wasn't up front with all of you. I wasn't straight on the board. Put aside the fact that we were all new and still figuring out how to trust each other. The whole tally thing. Yeah, I'm gonna take that L because I was expecting this to go, straight to hell in a handbasket in a few weeks, and all of us get kicked out and move on. Since then, y'all have been, those who have been with us and gone, and those who've recently come in, have been among the most stand-up people in this city that I've encountered in my relatively short on life. And, guys like Roscoe and Sam, you all know what I'm like when we're on opposite sides of the table, so to speak. But when it came right down to it, you people had my back. When even my own clan betrayed me. And I'm still really pissed off about that. I'm going to be pissed off about that for a while. But that has nothing to do with any of you. From this point forward, playing with my cards face up. I see Tally again. The only real thing I have to say to him is, do you want the knife or the torch? He's going to get both of them anyway. Fuck that guy. Seriously.
Indeed, fuck that guy.
Fires and a blowtorch.
But yeah, thank you all, because you really could have just been like, no, fuck that guy, and thrown me under the bus, and I would have deserved every second of it.
Can I point something out? In the past, 4 months? Pretty much to a person, each one of us has had universe-shattering revelations thrust upon us. Some of us reacted poorly. But in that room, we had each other's back. And that's the truth.
Family is more than blood.
Indeed.
And I am honored that each of you are in my family. Even you, Ginny, though you are new, and Destiny too, though she is far away.
Indeed.
So, I don't know what else to say. I have ideas.
Allow me some time. Sam,
What do you need?
I need time.
Is there anything else we can do for you?
No, I need to focus on who... Well, the part of me that is still the woman I was. For a little bit of time. Instead of just the Ventru. I wasn't born with blue blood, I was embraced into it. And sometimes it is not a good fit. I have to make alterations so that it suits me, because I control it. And I have allowed it to control me for too long. But
I know what that...
Oh, so please.
I was just going to say, I know what that feels like.
Indeed. But, as I said, I am not isolating. If you need me, please, all of you. I am available. And Jenny, that goes for you as well. I know you are a businesswoman, and if there is assistance you need with establishing things over the next nights and weeks, please let me know. I can get information for you. That will help.
I appreciate the offer. I will, just from my end of things, y'all are going through a lot of stuff, which is great to talk it out. I will make sure that I have my man get me a burner, and I will distribute that phone number to all of you the next time we meet.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect.
the business card I handed out, if you need to use it, but it's tied into some business venture stuff, so I'd prefer that doesn't get burned.
And
Jenny,
secondly, I'm sorry, please.
If you need it, I've got a box of burners in the trunk.
It's okay. My man knows what I'm looking for, so he'll get me a phone, because this will also be my... I don't know. It has to feel like more than a burner, so it keeps me legit, as it were. So
I realized I was remiss in mentioning that we do have Second Inquisition presence in this city. However, recently another kindred, not us, thank God, but another kindred basically annihilated an entire cell of them. But the handler remains. And we are, as a group, working on potentially dealing with the handler. Sam is taking point on that. Jenny, would you like for me to show you to your suite? It is potential that Destiny actually left her coin and key fob in the suite. So we will check down there.
that would be fantastic.
I wish you all a good morning, and may your day sleep be peaceful.
And as Jackie and Eleanor go down...
It's not Eleanor,
sorry,
Jenny.
Jackie. I know, so you said Jackie and Jenny go down to look at the suite. I will leave Eleanor and Sam and Lamar and Roscoe if you have anything you'd like to discuss after they leave. Otherwise, I will transition over to Jackie and Jenny, but...
Hey, I do have a project that I could use y'all's help on. And he looks at Roscoe and Sam and Eleanor. And when Jackie's ready, I definitely want to bring you in on that, but it's going to require some planning. Just want you all to be aware, and it's something that can wait until after we have dealt with the handler.
Always happy to help, as I can.
Indeed, just let me know what you need.
And I look over to Sam. Sam,
What's up, Ellie?
You did very well. You did very well.
Yeah, it's real easy when you got a good example.
You know, in speaking with the prince, I was not afraid. Not so long ago, I would have been. But I was not. Perhaps I have soaked up some courage from the rest of you.
Courage is not the absence of fear. It's a strength of will to overcome it.
As you
What
say.
he said.
As you say.
And having some freaking, handsome looking fellows like Roscoe and Lamar around doesn't hurt either.
No, it does not. Speaking of Lamar. Oh, I'm sorry, Roscoe.
No, it's okay. I was just saying, you flatter me far too much, Sam.
Pish posh, old man. Pish posh.
Well, Lamar, it was brought to my attention that the lady at the hotel of whose suite that we used, she had quite the eye for you, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Wait. Okay, did everyone notice this except me? Because I'm sorry, I didn't see anything. So everybody, you guys are not, Jackie mentioned it too, and I thought, okay, maybe, she imagined it, but now you guys are telling me this, and I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, I'm used to seeing, every single woman in the world friggin' break their neck trying to check you out, Elsie.
It is true. I confess, I did not notice. It was Ginny that brought it to my attention. She wondered if she was one of your paramours. To which I said I did not know. I thought maybe perhaps she was hungry.
I did see it, and she was definitely checking you out.
Yeah, if Ibano Hakim is following you with their eyes, that usually is not a good sign. So
It wasn't a judgy, a look of judgment. Just more one of
Appreciation.
Yeah, and an evaluation. Yeah.
I'll just keep that in mind for the next time I see her. Thank you.
Of course.
And I think this is a good point. Split over to Jackie and Ginny as they head down, and I will turn the scene over to Jackie and Ginny as they go down to show the suites.
As we walk to the suite, I do show her the basement hatch that basically goes down, and I say, this is actually a undercity access, and it takes us to a garage that is on the edge of the domain near the rack.
Okay.
So this is basically an escape tunnel if something bad happens. If the fob is in there, and if it is not, I will go to security room and get you one tonight, because the fob will work on this hatch.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is the fob you're talking about. It's just like a key to the
It's one of these, and I take it out. It's what I used in the elevator.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Basically, it's an electronic key, is what it is. So let us go in, and inside it is just a fairly simple room. If you would like it decorated any specific way for your comfort, if you ever need to stay here, please feel free to do so. Or if you would like for me to arrange for anything, please let me know. And I go over to the desk that is in the room.
Well, when you go in, Destiny is, of course, taking everything out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But actually on that desk, there is a key fob. There's a coin. And oddly enough, there is a rose laid on the desk as well. It is not wilted. It is not faded at all, even though Destiny has been gone enough time for it to have done that. But it's just sitting on the desk.
I'm going to take the rose. This is unusual. Destiny has been gone long enough for this to wilt. I believe I'm going to take this to Eleanor and Roscoe before I leave for the night. Here's the coin. Keep it on you. It will warm when a kindred crosses the threshold.
Okay.
And here's the fob. This will access the elevator so you can traverse all floors.
Perfect. And just so I just want to make sure for my own, so I'm not wandering around in the parking garage or something.
Mm-hmm.
This will get me into the parking garage. This will get me from the parking garage into the building.
No, yes, it basically accesses all the secured areas in this building.
Okay.
Including the escape tunnel. Now, that doesn't go to the parking garage here. That goes to one at the end of the domain.
Yes, I meant your actual.
Yes, it will handle
garage.
all of that.
Okay.
It will handle all of that.
Like I said, I didn't want to be wandering around waving at cameras.
No, you are
like,
perfectly
hey.
fine. And we do have a ghoul here. Her name is Jerry.
Okay.
She will be happy to assist you in navigating and everything, and I will actually ask her to give you a tour.
Perfect.
Okay.
And most nights when the coterie is in attendance and the club is not open, Jerry's in the camera room or in the security office.
Yep.
Keeping a watch.
So, and as I said, even though I am taking some time away from domain direct issues at this time, now I will say I have the entire neighborhood, not just the domain, but the entire neighborhood police force in my pocket. So I have eyes and ears on the domain even when I'm not active in it. But I will be available if you need me for assistance.
Okay. Do I need to schedule ahead of time, or do you care?
It is
if just
appreciated. Pop-ins, it can be, because I have a relatively busy schedule. I not only run 2 businesses, I am also at Elysia weekly. So scheduling is best. It can be same night, but just a little heads up would be appreciated.
That's fair. Most people would answer that way. I thought, I should ask. It's a new city. It's a new mindset. You got to feel out the crowd, as it were. So
I appreciate that, Genevieve.
Ooh, gotta be careful saying it like that.
Well, darling, you have a lovely day's sleep. And when you rouse, I will have Jerry give you a tour.
Okay. Thank you again. Is it okay if I have my man Evan come down here, or is this really
is absolutely,
hush-hush?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I just want to make sure I don't accidentally.
You can feel free to go on the elevator, go up and get him.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
I just don't want to trip over any accidental issues. So, hence the questions.
Mikasa is Sukasa, darling. Make yourself at home.
Be careful, I might take you up on that.
Very well. So I am going to go let Jerry know, and then you can have yourself a lovely day sleep.
Excellent. Thank you again.
Thank you. And she goes up, stops by the security office, talks to Jerry, and then she heads back to the conference room. Well, I thought I was leaving, but this was found on Destiny's desk, and it is not wilted. Can those with special eyes take a look at it?
While they're doing their thing real fast, I just wanted to ask, can I roll an occult something on the rose, since she mentioned that it should have been there a while, so it's peculiar. I just want to know if
Sure. That would be, you can do either intelligence or wits. It's up to you.
Okay.
And occult.
Okay.
And so everyone knows I tested Fantasy Grounds. You still have to drag the die to the chat window because they still haven't made it so you can actually fucking roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
For those that want to look at the rows, I assume you're going to want to use Sense the Unseen. Please roll your Sense the Unseen. It is going to be Resolve Auspex because you're attempting to do it on purpose. You have to use Resolve for that. Roscoe roused and got hungrier. I assume.
That was no, that was supposed to be a Resolve Auspex.
Well, click your dots and try again.
Make sure you click plus and then drag the Auspex, or put the plus by Auspex.
Yep, that's selected.
Or just put the plus by Auspex and then drag the Resolve die. That lowered the right amount of dice. 3. Wow, Eleanor had 4. Willpowered it, got 7.
Roll one more die.
For
blood potency.
Yeah, Eleanor has the +1 for blood potency.
Yeah, but Roscoe didn't.
Roscoe did not. So just roll one die. You can just grab that black one. Yep, throw it up there. Let's see. Yep, still only 3. Eleanor, Roscoe, there is some sort of blood sorcery involved here. Eleanor, it is, don't know how, it's definitely being preserved by something. But based on your success is 7. You suspect you could probably get more information if you used your other discipline on that one.
You mean Spirit's Touch?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to do that. I will go ahead and rouse for that.
Success on your rouse check. So you do not get hungrier. And a lot of dice get thrown. 7 successes. Very impressive. That's more than enough. As you hold, I don't think you want to willpower.
I'm going to leave it, but I am going to reach out and touch it as I do that.
When you touch it, you can feel the impression of destiny as she carried it. You can actually feel the emotion, the bittersweet loss of leaving friends, but also her joy at going to reconnect with one she had left. And as you dive back into the history of this rose, you actually can feel where she got it. It feels very odd where she got it from. You can feel when something was done to it to preserve it. But it grew in the sewer with grow lights above it and the squeak of rats nearby. And you could feel the one who cared for this rose, who grew it and enchanted it. A keeper that can't deal with a secret not being told without finding the secret. And you've met this kindred, you've seen him. The dapper Noss, Cedric, grew and enchanted this rose for destiny as a favor to Martin.
It is an enchanted rose from a place where roses should not grow. A very dapper gentleman grew it with his pets nearby. It is a secret for destiny.
Do you mind if I keep it for safekeeping?
No.
Is it safe?
Oh.
Because there was absolute. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say there was absolutely nothing you said there that answered that question.
When I had a look at it, I could see that it's been touched by blood sorcery, but I got no clue as to what kind.
I saw the same, and when I touched it, I could see back to the bed in which it grew, in the sewers with the lights over it. It's a secret that grew into this rose.
Well, yeah, but I've seen blood sorcery do some real weird. Blood sorcery gets me all kinds of heebie-jeebies. But I've seen it do some real weird shit. I just want to make sure it's not going to like grow fucking vines and wrap around Jackie's neck and cut her goddamn head off.
Well, I handled it from the basement upstairs, and it didn't do anything. So I assume the enchantment is to preserve it?
I believe so.
Based on your spirit's touch, you think from the way it was grown, that is the intent.
It is a rose that is intended to be forever in bloom and never die or wither or wilt.
I need to see this dapper gentleman soon. I will take it for safekeeping.
He may wish to know that it is in good hands.
He may wish to know indeed that she left it behind and it fell into my care.
If it attacks you, you fucking run, right?
I have bodyguards, Sam. I'll be fine.
Okay.
I have survived worse, I promise.
I don't know. That's some horror show shit. I don't know.
It might be kinky.
Oh.
Oh, it'll be nice to get back to my old self. And she walks out of the room.
And
that's a hell of a statement to leave on. Sam says that.
I think this is a good spot for us to go to break. As the coterie now gets to split up and do some other things with a very odd gift left behind by destiny. Because you know it was not accidental.
She probably figured Jackie would be the one to go into her room.
Or it's left as a way to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you in 10 minutes, everyone. Please enjoy the break.
Introduce myself, though I fear you've heard my name, and that you've heard the story of Countess Bathory. History is told by the victors, heroic warriors, and mad kings. Will you hear my story from the lips of Bathory? political rivals keen to destroy me and take my property. My plea was never offered. All my confessors were all tortured, or how they destroyed me for my property. They put me up, shut me up, shut me up, put me up, put me up, shut me up, shut me up, and told a story of a bitch called Bathory. That sucking demon, queen of hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins, youthful, the blood countess. Who is she really? Who is she really? Blood countess. Who is she really? Elizabeth Bathory. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. I've always been the hunter, nothing on my tail. But there was something in you I knew could make that change. To capture a predator, you can't remain the prey. You have to become an equal in every way. So look in the mirror and tell me, who do you see? Is it still you, or is it me? Become the beast, we don't have to hide. Do I terrify you, or do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger, does it howl inside? hunters, the hunters, the hunters, the hunters. Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin to burrow within. Do you burrow within? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive?
Welcome back. Before the break, this coterie met with Prince Jackson. I don't think it was a pleasant meeting, but I also think it was a beneficial one to this coterie because I think it gave them a minute to reflect on situations that have been coming up. And after the coterie broke apart for the night, they spent some time doing their own thing. And as always, we're not going to go into exact numbers of nights, but nights flow. But it's shortly after this that Jackie is at her cabaret. She's actually performing. While you're on stage, I will let you describe your performance here in a second. But as you're on stage, you notice somebody sitting at one of the tables tonight that normally you haven't seen sit at the tables. Dred's there, but he's not wearing his normal biker's outfit. He's actually well dressed in a suit, hair neatly combed, and he's just watching your performance. Now I'll turn it over to Jackie to describe her routine.
She is actually doing an aerial hammock performance, and it is extremely evocative without being completely provocative. It is tasteful, but very much inspiring of feelings from seeing it. And as she concludes, she lowers herself back to the ground elegantly and does a graceful bow to the crowd.
And of course, there is a round of applause when you're done. A number of people stand up. Even Dred is standing up, though He seems to be watching you closely. His eyes still scan the crowd as if watching for any kind of a threat.
And she exits the stage to go get changed. And she asks Etienne to bring Dredd back to her office.
Okay. And when you come back to your office, Dredd's actually standing outside the door with Etienne. And Etienne looks at him, or looks at you and goes, "Ma'am, I offered him to sit inside. He said he wasn't going to go in your office until you were there as well."
Very well. Come, join me.
Dredd gets a smile, and you can tell he's not used to wearing the suit. But he steps into the office. I didn't think it was right being in here without you here. Didn't want you to think I'm pawing through your papers.
Nothing in here is going to make me vulnerable.
Yeah, but women have to have their secrets. And he actually gets up, and he just wraps you in a hug.
And she hugs him back.
I mean, sorry for what happened. I know it's tough.
It was destined to happen. Eventually.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your sympathy.
Our kind like to talk about forever.
Only so long as we can survive it.
It seems to be rare that we actually make the forever part. I've had my close calls. Sorry it took so long to come visit you. Lucinda had us running all over the Goblin Roads, and I'm convinced it's only because Tyrus actually had the nerve to tell her, "Do you think Tally's stupid enough to still be in this fucking city?" So she told him to get his fucking ass in the Goblin Roads and make sure.
That fucking Toreador that was working with him would not be traversing the goddamn Goblin Roads. She came in on a fucking plane.
I'm convinced she was doing it just to make sure Tyrus understood his place.
Oh my god. That old wolf that you pal around with. I can see his mouth gets him into a lot of trouble.
It does, but I gotta say, when it comes down to it, no one else you want you having your back.
That is true.
When the shit goes down.
That is true.
He's hard to deal with, but he's loyal to the pack.
Of course.
You doing okay? I know, of course not, but...
I am doing as well as I can.
That's good. I had no clue. I mean...
Of course you didn't. I'm very good at what I do.
Yeah, but beyond that, I had no clue. Our job is to be the defense between this city and the Lupine and the Sabbat.
Indeed.
And here we find out Tally's obviously been palling around the place.
He is very good at what he does.
Yeah, we're supposed to be good at what we do.
I understand, but even Lucinda, I hear, has gone a few rounds with that one.
Oh, she was quite clear about that. Quite clear in her. This time, that bastard's gonna pay. You know, it's funny because she was all controlled up until later that night when we met back up with her. She was in a mood. I don't know what Jackson said to her, but he pissed her off.
Yes, yes, well.
I heard you all
I had the pleasure of meeting with Prince Jackson and had to basically, in a way appropriate for him, do the same thing I did to Tyrus when I told him I like it rough. I had to diffuse the situation.
Yeah, I heard you all were pulled. It's not common knowledge. It's not something
Of course not.
people are talking about, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have y'all watched after what went down that night. For security, at least.
Have us watched or me watched?
Little of column A, lot of column B.
Antheus, you wear your heart on your sleeve, darling.
After what I went through during the last Lupine War, I kind of withdrew. As I said, we talk about eternity. It takes a whole different meaning when you almost lose it. When you spend a decade asleep because you almost lost it. Let's just say that, you know, once in a while you find something that riles up that heart a little bit, keeps that beast moving. I'm not dead yet. Well, I am dead.
I understand your
But not
intent.
that way. I'm not Tyrus dead. I'm not injuring myself just to feel. I haven't gone that far yet.
I figured that's what he's doing.
I've known him a long time. Been that way since I knew him.
But you are deflecting.
Of course I am. Not easy to share. Look at... In my position, vulnerability is weakness.
Yes, but knowing you can be vulnerable with someone is strength.
Yeah, but you can't exactly let that get around. What would it do to my reputation?
Oh, it would completely ruin it.
Of course. Worse than Tyrus already has.
I hear what you are saying. And I understand. I, too, have experienced things that stir the blood, as it were. And it is something I am noticing with you as well. However, you cannot be behaving as such in public. You know better.
A long time ago, my mom always told me. How'd she put it? I don't have the sense, good sense God gave me.
Do I need to smack some sense into you, Antheus?
Oh, I might like that.
You might. It might quite be enjoyable for you.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You understand that your enemies will become mine. And vice versa, although yours are far more powerful because I generally keep my enemies low-key.
Oh, come on. The prince already summoned you once.
He is not my enemy after this. He's just pissed off. He'll get over it.
Technically, he's mine, but...
Indeed. I'm aware.
Yeah.
We are in early nights, darling. Let's take this a step at a time.
Worst comes to worst. There's always our next life when we're both cats. Something I picked up from a movie.
I actually saw that one. It was quite pleasant.
At some point, you need to go out and talk with Tyrus. He's, like I say, debrief, but he wants to talk to you about some things. He's being cagey about what he wants to talk about. I suspect he wants to get info that Lucinda wouldn't tell him.
Ah.
I know it won't work on you. I could tell him that, but he wouldn't listen. And neither would you anyway.
I will go speak with him. Not tonight, of course, but some other night. And deal with him. I'll answer what questions I can, and those I can't, I'll tell him to fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, and Doc was asking about you.
Oh.
Just wanted to make sure, that pretty lady's okay. That's what he said.
Aw, he is such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He is such a sweetheart.
Always been a schmoozer.
Mm-hmm. I like him so much.
Yeah. Well, that's the third doc we've had.
I believe it. I believe it.
That's the rule.
Whoever runs the bar is named Doc. Mm-hmm.
Why it's called Doc Holidays. You got to have a doc.
Of course.
And Doc Holiday.
Of course.
Great performance tonight.
Thank you.
I figured if I'm coming in this place, I couldn't come looking like my raggedy self. And
you look amazing.
I dressed up.
But I take you in leather or suits. It doesn't matter to me.
I got it out of storage. I had one.
I'm sure occasionally you have to be formal.
There was a gala event that we attended a few years ago, but, I got it out. Glad you're doing okay, though, but...
I appreciate your concern for me.
The rest of your group, I'd be a dick if I didn't ask. They okay?
They are as well as they can be as well.
I know.
We look after each other.
Kind of like we do at the Wolfpack.
Indeed. Not so different.
I know your boy Lamar there does some stuff in the South Side. It's my job to know things,
Of course.
Tell him be careful. There's a war down there that's starting up. Big
I'm aware.
One. Oh, you are?
Of course. I keep my ear to the ground. What do I do?
Tyra says is watching it a little closer than I expect. Which makes me wonder if he knows something.
Maybe I can work my magic and get some information out of him.
You see why I told you?
Of course. I see what you're doing. You cannot manipulate me, darling.
Not manipulation. We'll call it a trade. I gave you info, and if you can get some info out of him, trust me, it'd be useful. I really don't like when he keeps me in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be the one that can fill in, or if something happens to him, take over. And that means I need info, and I can't be operating in a vacuum. And he's awful cagey about the South Side.
I'll work him over, see what I can get.
Yeah. Don't work him over like you did me. We don't need all that.
Oh, come on.
You don't need him chasing her around.
I can't have a collection.
I
tease.
I think if you get too many of us, Nadine might start to feel neglected or left out.
Too.
Okay, well then, I'm not sure she swings. I don't know which way she swings.
Darling,
ever since her brother died,
she'll do anything.
Ever since her brothers died, she's been. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We lost him. He was one of them we lost.
You have lost many. I know this. We all have our losses if we survive long enough. It is how we put one foot in front of the other afterwards that matters.
Well, I agree with that. It's just, it's tough. As you found it out, obviously. Sure, it's not the first loss you've had, but...
Of course not.
You only have one sire.
Indeed.
At least I hope so.
Yes, I only have one sire. It was a competition, but I only have one sire.
Now, if you need anything, you need advice, need someone to talk to, I know the city, I know the players. You can give me a ring, at least until we're cats. In another life.
She takes his hand and squeezes it. Thank you, Antheus.
Hey, his heart hasn't beat in a long time, but apparently it's right here.
She actually leans in and gives him a kiss on the cheek.
And he smiles at that. I know you got to run your club tonight, or your cabaret, or... Interesting place, by the way.
Thank you.
Quite unique.
Thank you.
And I'm supposed to have not been here.
I never saw you.
I was supposed to go meet with some people about things. Fallout. But...
And if you need me, you know how to find me.
Oh, yeah. I'll find you. And he gets up and comes over and gives you another hug.
I'll come back.
You're strong. You'll get through it.
So are you. Don't forget that.
You start questioning the strength after a 10-year nap you didn't intend to take. I'm just letting you know
But
this.
you woke up.
Oh, I did. Really pissed off about it.
And she strokes his cheek, and I am so happy you woke up.
And he smiles at that, and he kind of shuffles a little nervously. I'll be around.
Good.
And he heads out. And what does Jackie do after he leaves the office?
She actually is working on drafting up a, some ideas for a event at the cabaret later in the year. She wants to do a grand event there. So she is drafting up some ideas for this.
And it's an hour or so later that Etienne knocks on the door. Ma'am, you've got a messenger.
Oh.
He's here to deliver. Won't tell me what it is. Says his name is Ian Gibson, but he's got a message he can only deliver to you.
Do I recognize that name at all?
No.
Okay. Is he armed?
No, ma'am. He's actually dressed in a double-breasted suit.
Escort him back.
Yes, ma'am.
And I tuck away my stuff so that the desk is clear.
And it's only a minute later when Etienne opens the door, and in comes a guy. He's kind of average height, got close-cropped blonde hair, clean-shaven. He's wearing a double-breasted gray suit. And he's got a rolled-up paper in his hand.
Mr. Gibson.
You would be Jacqueline Durant.
I am indeed.
I bring this from my mistress.
And I take it?
And it's a piece of paper, and when you open it up, it's not wax sealed or anything. It says you are hereby cordially invited to relax and spend an evening at the Blue Velvet. And it's signed at the bottom, Bronwyn.
Thank you. Mr. Gibson, you can advise your mistress it has been received, and I will do so at my earliest convenience.
Of course, anytime you wish. It's an open invitation.
Thank you.
Welcome to the VIP list, ma'am.
Thank you.
And he does a bow and turns and leaves. Blue Velvet, ma'am?
Yes.
Is that... I've heard it come up before. Isn't that the place that they tracked that Lasky?
Yes. It is also a place I've had Peter watch.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect there may be involvement with some missing neonates in this place that I have been tasked to investigate.
I get the feeling that invitation doesn't extend to me.
Likely not. But you can wait, probably, with the car.
Of course.
I imagine that they do not have folks just destroyed out of hand that are invited. Those who are used in that way seem to be snatched.
I mean, when it came up before, I actually did some research. I mean, it's a very private, exclusive place. Let's just say that.
It is?
And the little bit that's mentioned of it definitely screams your kind.
Of course. Of course. And it is something that the elite of this city go to.
You have nothing else for me, ma'am. I will resume my post.
You may do so, thank you.
And he steps out of the office, leaving Jackie to work on her little project.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have to flash to a scene where Sam, Roscoe, Jenny, and Eleanor have something they've decided to do tonight. And I will turn it over to, well, since the one who's planning the general idea was Sam, I think I'll turn it to Sam to explain to at least Jenny, in case, I don't know if Eleanor and Roscoe already know, but explain to Jenny what their plan is.
So, Miss Schutz, how much do you know about the alphabet soup that exists in this country? Talking about FBI, CIA, NSA, DIA, DHS.
I know that you pay your taxes and you don't do anything in public, so you stay off the radar.
What are taxes? Oh, never mind. Yeah. Well, the problem is somebody somewhere along the way fucked up real bad and got on their radar. And so it spawned this thing called the Second Inquisition. There's layers to it. Every city is different from what I understand. And we find ourselves ideally, or maybe not ideally, but definitely uniquely situated to perhaps mitigate the risk that organization poses to the kindred of Chicago. And in doing so, can hopefully remove some of the, and I look pointedly at the rest of you, remove some of the ire that the prince has directed at us from this coterie.
Well, I will keep doing my normal precautions, but I am, of course, happy to assist any way I can.
Well, so I believe it was discussed with you a few nights past that there was a squad that got taken out, but the handler's still around, right?
Yes, I believe Miss Durand mentioned that to me.
Yeah, well, that handler is our quarry, and so I bring some of the best trackers and finders that I can think of, and that I can humbly call upon to aid in initiating this kill chain.
Well, Sam, you got a picture or something I can use to start this? And I take the picture and I study him. I look at him a bit.
And I point to the back of the van that has that, everything's all panel and blacked out and everything like that. And there's just a sun bag sitting back there. Say, mi casa su casa, home slice. Let's get this done.
Okay.
Is that the Chicago welcome? Because never mind. Genevieve gets in the van.
Okay. And you pile up in his amazing, not a kidnap van.
No.
So, for what you're trying to do, Roscoe, make sure I'm pulling up the right roll. You got to do your ritual roll. It is going to be intelligence plus blood sorcery. The difficulty is the ritual level +1. So your difficulty on this particular roll is difficulty is 3. And the process for it is, of course, you take a ribbon, soak it in your blood, and then you try to set it on fire. 5 successes you have right now. Do you wish to willpower that, or are you going to stick with 5?
In order to increase the margin, I will willpower that.
Okay. Since the difficulty is 3 on it, right now you have a 2 margin, which will help you for the overall roll when it comes time to do the other half of the ritual test. And let's see what we get here. Well, there's another crit in there. That is 8 successes, Roscoe.
That will do handily.
That gives you a margin of 5 on this roll. So now you get to do the roll itself. The difficulty is equal to 6 minus your margin of 5. The difficulty is 1, and you roll intelligence plus survival against a difficulty of 1.
I'm just going to say this now. Bosco!
And he fumbles the dice. And let's see. And can I use my my tracking specialty?
Yes, that is exactly what the specialty's for, actually, for you. You have 2 so far. That is enough to succeed. It's up to you if you want a willpower in hopes to get a critical success, but 2 more. You got 4 total. I'll take that into account. And you can tell the ritual works because the ribbon did catch on fire. It didn't immediately just peter right out. So I want to hear, where do you plan to start looking for the path? Because you have to find a path that they've been on in the past based on your successes. It says the previous 24 hours. Your guess based on how you feel, it could be 24 to 30 hours ago is about where you're thinking you could get to.
All right, Sam. Any clue where this guy?
Yeah, based on the dossier we got, said he was working out of the MTA.
All right, let's head down that way. See if we can pick up the trail.
And as you're riding around the city, I'm about to turn it over for you all to have a talk if you wish as you're riding around. But you do catch the trail. And it leads you deeper into the city. It's actually leading you into, double check where I'm at here. Yep, leading you into the Ventro domain. Inside the loop.
All right, Ellie, here's where you come in.
Oh, yes. Do tell me what you would like me to do.
So you remember that thing you did that one time where you were able to get a good essay down or situational awareness download directly into your brain and tell us exactly what was going on within a certain radius of us?
Mm-hmm.
That.
All right. What am I looking for exactly?
I want to make sure that this guy doesn't have Overwatch protecting him. In other words, people shadowing him, making sure that nobody tries to scoop him up. Can you do that?
Okay. I think I can do that. I will do my best.
Awesome.
Right. Then I am going to clairvoyance.
Okay. Now, you may want to save it till you get to your destination rather than just driving through, because it only lasts a scene.
I will do that when we get there.
Yep. And as you're heading deeper and deeper into the city, roll, I don't know, streetwise, intelligence streetwise. We'll go with that. We can go with wits awareness will work too. Why not? Or something with investigation, something along those lines. Pick one. Just want to see if you can guess generally, based on what you know of the city, what you're heading towards. Eleanor gets 3. Roscoe, for some reason, rolled wits intelligence. I don't know why it did that. Might want to check your check boxes. Sam has a 3. Jenny has a 1. And wait for Roscoe to fix his check boxes because wits intelligence ain't going to cut it for that roll. Roscoe with a 5. Nope, you've double rolled wits, but hang on, let me double check because it may not matter. It may be the same roll you would have had anyway.
That's just...
Nope, that doesn't matter. Wits awareness for you is also 6 dice. You rolled 6 dice. So you got 5 on that one. You're pretty sure you're heading right towards the Chicago Department of Transportation.
Okay. Looks like we're heading for the DOT.
And I will pull up a reasonable distance away. And is there any rooftops that I can ascend to?
This building is 40 stories. The nearby buildings are also all rather high. I mean, you could, it'd be rough. There's not a single building less than 15, 20 stories around it. It's great, slate gray front of it, windows all the way up. North Sally Street. Saleh. You want to be fancy.
No, 40 stories is a bit much. Well, here comes the fun part. Ellie,
Yes,
do that voodoo that you do so well.
I shall.
Please and thank you.
Is that photograph still here? I want to make sure that I'm looking for the right person.
Yeah.
I will look at the photo and make sure that I know what he looks like, and then I am going to roll clairvoyance.
Yep, intelligence, all specs. After a rouse check, of course.
I am going to rouse.
And you did not get hungrier. Very good. Though we forgot to do Roscoe's rouse check for his ritual, please. You can throw that bin.
Oh.
Roscoe succeeded his, so it didn't matter. So good to know. Yep, intelligence, all specs. Let's see what we get there. For what you're trying to do.
I'm going to willpower.
Of course. Three's, you know. 4 successes. To use it on one of the mansion is a 3. An unfamiliar city block would be a 7. I'm going to make it a difficulties 4, so you just made it. I will give you one question that you can ask about what you see as you're peeking through.
I'm looking for this person. I want to know where they are and anything in their vicinity that gives me any clue about their situation.
You find them zooming through the building with your vision, cutting through floors. It's a weird feeling, by the way, as you pass through the floors. But you find this individual at a desk on the 30th floor. Very, very odd, actually. He's balding with a comb over. Doesn't look like much, looks like low-level bureaucrat of all things. Wearing a button-up shirt with a tie. And he's just sitting at a desk. Looks like he's currently typing up projections for traffic projections of all things. But he matches a picture.
And that's about all I can tell with that margin of success.
With that margin, yep. But he's there on the 30th floor right now.
30th floor.
Yep.
So as my vision pulls back, I'm sorry, Sam, I wasn't able to see much. But he is there and he is on the 30th floor. He's writing a report of some kind. It looks boring.
Could you see if there is a window?
It is an interior part of the office. He's apparently not, he's not at a level enough where they actually gave him a window cubicle.
He's not special enough to warrant a window.
No, his cover is not special enough to warrant a window.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, got a deck of cards. Who's ready for a stakeout?
Since you drove us here, I don't think any of us have an option.
Well, I mean, if you want me to take you back, I can. He's probably going to be at this for a while.
No, it's fine.
But you're the one that he hasn't seen yet, so you're going to be the eyeball.
Are you thinking like you can send me in like strippergram or
no? Okay, so this is the surveillance team.
Uh-huh.
The surveillance team follows the eyeball. The eyeball follows the target. That way, the target never sees the surveillance team.
You will have to educate me on what it is that you expect me to do exactly, because I want
to find out where this guy lays his head down.
So you want me to follow him from here and then you follow me following him?
If he walks, yes. If he drives, we'll follow him in the vehicle.
Okay.
You've hunted before, right? I know that was a rhetorical question. Of course you have. You know how to follow somebody at a distance. And
I'm just thinking, sorry. Based on what you've said, would it be helpful if I have a secondary vehicle?
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking like those, now that you've heard you explain it, it makes more sense. I'm thinking like all those action TV shows where they change cars every once in a while. I could have my driver bring one of the less auspicious vehicles. And that would be, I don't know, but that's your call. This is your thing. So,
I hadn't included that in my available resources. If that's something you can call upon, then by all means, the more resources, the better.
Oh,
what's that? What's that, Roscoe?
Slipping, man.
Look, I don't know what she has to bring to the table. Hell, I wasn't even including her in this until she showed up a couple of days ago.
It's okay. It's okay, Mr. Grant. I have money and some other odd skills here and there, so take it as you will.
Just, we've all had to walk somebody down before, so I knew that's something you could do. You know what I'm saying?
If that sounds like it's applicable to the situation, I will go ahead and I will just send him a text and let him know where to come, and I will have him bring not the bins.
Let's not do any texting from this location.
Never mind.
Here's the thing. We stick a pin in this because I like your idea. We stick a pin in this. We know where he works, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can come back tomorrow night with all the resources we have to bring to bear, ready to surveil him back to where he sleeps. And see what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand what you're saying. Just with cursory glance, if looking around, do I see any like cats, wandering dogs, mice, rats, whatever?
Oh, this is Chicago. There's rats. If you go and look in an alley, I'm pretty sure you'll find at least a cat. Probably a dog or two that's feral. 100% rats are everywhere. This is Chicago.
Yeah. So do you mind, Eleanor, the picture?
Oh, not at all. Here.
Thanks. Is it okay if I get out of the vehicle, Mr. Grant?
Yeah, we should be far enough away. Just go out the passenger side.
Okay.
Don't go out the back.
I don't wish to muck up your operation. So
it's our operation, Genevieve.
Our operation. You're the point person, so I'm just trying to follow your lead. So Genevieve's going to actually get out of the vehicle, and as soon as she steps out, she's going to activate Silence of Death and start walking towards an alleyway.
Okay. And there's numerous alleyways. Easy to find a little side thing to duck down. I assume you're looking for animals.
I am looking for animals. Probably the bigger, the better. So. Okay.
You can roll, there's several rats, which are the size of small cats. Charisma and animalism.
All right, 1 second.
And a rouse check, of course.
Yes, let me do rouse check first. Then animalism, charisma. That didn't roll enough dice. What? For some reason it didn't roll my. I've got 2 dots in animalism and only rolled 1. So let's
see. No, it says 2. Looks like you have a minus on it. Manipulation 2.
Why do I have a minus?
Animalism 2. No, it doesn't. It's animalism 2.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Yep, you rolled them.
That reroll, that extra die roll, that would have been a willpower reroll. So I'll just spend a willpower for that anyway.
You rolled manipulation instead of charisma. There's where the problem was.
Oh.
You should have 5 dice because it's charisma plus animalism.
Yeah, I wanted to do. I thought I dragged the charisma one. Sorry, my bad.
That's fine.
Is 4 successes okay, or
4 is enough?
Okay,
because that you're summoning the animal, so you're down in there trying to summon the biggest one you can find, and a big old meaty rat definitely pokes his head up over the trash can. What do you want? Wait.
Hey.
Wait. Why are you talking to me?
Because it's a secret. And you're in on it, so.
I like food.
Don't we all? I have a picture of an individual, and if you can help me, I will bring you food tomorrow.
Oh.
Well, look. The next time the sun goes down.
You all look the same, but I'll look.
We don't all look the same. That's not very nice. Genevieve is going to pull out the picture and she's going to hold it in front of the rat, or is like close so it looks,
He looks at it. Wait, you all can't tell us apart. We can't tell you apart.
You're making many assumptions.
And he looks at him and he goes, I've seen him.
Okay. Does he leave on foot, or does he leave via a car or something?
I don't see him leave. He goes for lunch. He gets a sandwich and throws it in the trash, half of it, and then I eat it. That's why I recognize him. He leaves food.
Oh, interesting. Where's the trash can he's throwing his food away in?
Down, and he gives you it's the street, but he doesn't have the same vocabulary, but you get the gist of it. It's down the street. It's right one of the corner ones. It's right outside a little deli.
Okay. What would you like to eat for this information, since you have been most helpful?
The sandwich is good. No, wait. I think it was called chicken.
Chicken?
Piece of chicken.
Piece of chicken. I will bring you an entire chicken. You've been extremely helpful.
Ooh. I'll be here.
Okay.
This is my trash can. I live here.
Awesome. Well, I will see you tomorrow then. Tomorrow night. Sorry. Once the sun comes up and once the sun goes down again, I will be back.
And it gives a little chirp of a squeak and it jumps back behind the trash can. And you can actually hear it whispering, talking about she's bringing food to, you think he's talking to some of the other rats back there.
Genevieve is going to pocket the picture again, and she's going to stroll back towards the van. So I found a chatty Cathy of a rodent in the alleyway over there that said some very offensive things, but he has seen this individual get lunch down the street. She will point to a meat and sandwich joint, it said down there. And he's in this rat was this rodent, sorry, not to be deprecating to the animal. This rodent specified that this individual eats half his sandwich and then throws it in the trash every day at the trash can in front of where he gets the sandwich. That
every
seemed
every day at the same time, did they say?
It just said it gets lunch. I'm assuming it's probably heard people mention lunch, so I don't know if that means lunch during the day or if that means dinner, because it is night. He is still here, so he might be. The rodent words, limited. So,
if you want to try, if you're not sure, but you want to see if your character can figure something out that you, the player, may not be able to, I will let you roll wits, subterfuge, or wits streetwise.
I'm going to do a wits and a streetwise.
Because I acknowledge that sometimes the character knows things the player may not, or have intuitive leaps the player does not.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and re-roll these.
Genevieve gets a 1 at first. But 2 more. She gets 3 on her willpower on that. Very good. Anyone else roll, or does people already think they got it anyway? It's up to you.
If the option exists, sure.
Yep. I will let anyone who wish to roll wits. They can roll subterfuge or streetwise. Because as a storyteller, sometimes you got to acknowledge the fact that the players don't always know all the things that the characters might.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah, Roscoe loves rolling wits and wits. Unchecked, don't have the plus for wits selected, Roscoe?
Yeah, that's what I just
did. There you go, 2. Eleanor, 2. Sam's rolling his. Jenny's got 3. Sam's got 1. Assume, Sam, you're going to willpower that with a 1. Sam's got a 3 as well. For Sam, Roscoe's got a 3. Jenny's got a 3. Or no, sorry, Roscoe only had a 2. That's right. For Sam and Roscoe, that sounds like it's a signal or a prearranged sign of some type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you think if eating half a sandwich every day, that seems like some kind of a
you don't go to a delicatessen in Chicago and only eat half their friggin' meat to have what they serve you.
Yeah,
he's signaling somebody. He's got Overwatch. It's during the day though. God damn.
Oh, okay. This is all new to me outside of, what I've seen on TV and the movies, which is always so fantastical. But even if it's during the day, they're not untouchable just because it's the day. You can pay people to do things for you, even simple things like walk around this block once every 43 minutes or something like that. See if you recognize the same people maybe doing similar things, sort of deal. Like I said, you're asking about what I bring to the table, and I'm just kind of, my brain thinks, why worry about it when you can just pay somebody? Because most people will do something benign for a couple $100. And they'll keep their mouth shut because a couple $100 to go for a walk. Just an idea, though. I do not wish to tread upon your operational,
Would you stop being self-deprecating? It's a damn good idea. I think we should go with that. there's moving pieces here that we need to freaking account for. And I do have an idea of how to get to them. All right, so Roscoe, you still able to see where he's gone, where he's been?
Guy hasn't left the building. I mean, Roscoe can see that.
Yep.
All right, let's let him leave out of here, and then we can follow your trail, see where he goes. We don't even, we don't even need to do all the fancy shit. We can just follow the trail that he leaves for you.
It'll work. Yeah, we can. It's just 24 hours more, give or take a little. I'm sure he's been at home. Unless he's just one of these people that works 30 hours a day.
I don't know how it works. Can you backtrack on him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's do that then.
As you backtrack, does not lead to where you would expect it to have led. Leads to a small building at O'Hare International Airport. A place that you have been warned to avoid. It's a small private flight company. Right there at the airport. And Lamar, since you're there with them, or no, Lamar's not with them. Sorry. Lamar doesn't. That small building.
What's the name of it?
It just says Noah's Charter. That's it.
Yeah, that's some spy shit right there.
Can I see if he is that where the trail ends?
Yep. That's where the trail started. It doesn't lead out of that building. And you're not, of course, you're beyond the fence, because the only way to get inside the perimeter, of course, is to drive through the checkpoints to get into the tarmac sections, which you don't. I don't know if you want to risk it.
No. I just want to know if there was some way we could tell whether he had been on a flight and just came back into the city recently.
That would leave a trail through the sky.
Right. Okay.
Because he would have been on the plane.
Hey, Red, can you try doing that thing again?
Yes, I will.
Please and thank you.
Looking for whoever's in there. Any dangers?
Yeah, if you can just get a look at anyone in there, because chances are this might be like a sort of a way station or a safe house or something. And if it's a safe house, there's a housekeeper.
Yes. I'll look.
Okay.
And I'm going to clairvoyance again.
Okay,
Rousing.
And once again, your beast stays silent as you call upon the power of your blood. Eleanor's having a good night, it seems. No Doctor or Dolly taunting.
Oops, I grabbed the wrong one. Need to start over. Sorry.
We shall see what you get this time.
I will willpower.
3 successes so far. One of them's a 10, so it's a possibility of a crit. But 6 successes. As you push your sight towards the building. I need to roll something else for you. Very nice on that hidden roll. You push your sight near the building. You see a telltale glow around the hangar. That tells you there's something around this hangar. You're not quite sure what it is. You're not quite sure whether you should trust pushing your vision past it, though. You had 5 on your wits auspex roll as a hidden auspex roll.
Okay, is that like the whole building then that we're surveilling?
Yeah, it's
has
not a
that
big
glow
building
around
because
it?
it's not even a hangar. It's just a small building. Barely, I mean, it's not trailer sized, but it's very tiny. The whole building
Okay.
seems to have a light glow. It's a red glow. I'll give you that as well.
A red glow. All right. I am not
Yep.
going to push myself through that, but I do want to see anything of interest around it. Like any indication of how many people are there, or
There's,
any other like crates or things to indicate like anything about what's going in and out.
there is one other car parked there. There's a Honda Accord parked, and I will let you note the license plate.
Cool.
Because that's not protected by any kind of barrier. It's just parked out front. And getting close to it, you get the impression that you don't see any of the normal heat waves that would come off an engine that has been run lately. So it's definitely not been used in enough time that the engine is definitely cool.
Okay.
And there's no windows that you can see in from outside the building. They've actually been all spray painted black from the inside.
All right. Then I will withdraw.
Okay.
Well, this is interesting. The whole building glows red with a barrier of some kind. I did not push through it. I did not think it wise. There is one car parked out front. It's been parked for some time. It is cool. It is a Honda, and it has this license plate. And I will relay the license plate. And the windows are all blackened, spray painted from the inside.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Like that? And I point to one of the, like one of the back panel windows.
Yes. Yes, exactly like that, except your van doesn't glow red.
Well, no, I don't have any sort of spoopy shit to put on it.
Yet.
Looking at you, Bosco.
Yeah, I get that.
That's interesting. Do we? Okay, now we need to head back. We need to head back. We've been lingering here too long. Let's head back and see what the brain trust says about this.
Okay. Hey, Shaggy.
Yes.
Can I, when Eleanor says that it has a red glow, but can I do any kind
Intelligence occult.
of... Okay.
And you can use your specialty. So you can add an extra die for your specialty. Specialty in blood magic.
It was intelligence occult?
Yep, intelligence occult. Drawing on your knowledge of the arcane. 6 successes, very nice. The red glow is very indicative of a ward. And you suspect, with 6 successes, pretty fucking good, there's a ward against kindred around this building.
Okay. Yeah, you know, that the red glow, the way you describe it, makes me think that somehow that building's been warded, probably against having one of us spy on them. So it's a good thing you didn't push.
Yes. Would make sense. They would ward it against our kind.
Right.
You know, Bosco, in conversations with, you and Helen, as far as I know, y'all are the only ones that can do that. let me clarify. Those that can do the blood magic. And at this point, I'm starting the ignition, starting to drive away. So that leads me to believe there's a fox in the hen house. There's a trader in Chicago.
Mhm.
Knows charters. Time to find out who owns and operates that, wouldn't you say?
I think so. Sounds like a great plan.
I'll have my my man start running that down.
Yeah, let's get back to home base. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, I love a good old-fashioned mole hunt.
And this is where we're going to end the scene with this group of players, because we have one other scene we have to get to tonight. Lamar wants to go and meet with somebody.
Yes, he has gone and requested a meeting with Khadija Al-Kindi, since everybody else seemed to notice that she was eyeing him at their last meeting. He's decided to kind of find out what's going on, as he's the only person who seemed to miss it.
And it's odd. When you attempt to arrange a meeting, it's accepted immediately.
He's definitely a little off-put by that, just on the fact that most people, they hear La Sombra coming and it's like they pretend they're not home and the meeting gets accepted immediately. So he is definitely going to prepare as he gets towards the meeting date and night.
At the Four Seasons. She actually set it up for the same night that you'd called. It's actually the same night that Sam and Roscoe and Eleanor and Jenny are doing their recon. And Jackie was performing in our cabaret, getting some Jackie time and apparently Jackie and Dread time in. It's the same night. And she had arranged for you to come at your earliest convenience to meet with her at the Four Seasons.
Well, I definitely do not want to appear like I'm afraid of her or like I'm hesitating. So I will go and I will meet with her post haste.
And when you arrive at the Four Seasons, you get there. And of course, the doorman looks you up and down. I've got a description. One second, hang on. Leans over. Acha, he's here. And stepping around the corner is a kindred you've met, but you did not expect to see here. You met her outside of one of your bolt holes. Obviously, she had a French accent, though her skin was darkened a bit, and you guessed North African descent. And she comes over and looks at you. My, you are quick.
Curious, so I thought I'd stop in and say hello.
You don't wow. We thought you were quick, I guess. Well, isn't this going to be an interesting conversation upstairs? Well, this should be fun, actually. She probably won't let me stay. You'll have to tell me later.
Oh, so we'll be seeing each other again then, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right.
And she goes, the name is Rana. I am Khadijah's assistant. helper. Sometimes anchor, I guess. Come over to... I've got the key. I'll take you up.
Lead the way. Lamar adjusts the lapels of his gray suit that he's wearing, and he will follow Aisha onto the elevator.
And when you get on the elevator, unlike the last attempt up the elevator where everyone was rather stiff, she's casually leaning against the back wall of the elevator. And as it's going up, she just starts whistling. And it's, you recognize, you think it's Whistle While You Work as she's riding this elevator up.
You are enjoying this, aren't you?
Well, kind of amusing. You see, we had a bet about how long it'd take you to figure it out. I thought I just lost the bet, but I think I just won because I don't think you figured it out. So, yeah, I'm kind of enjoying this. This is kind of fun. You don't catch Khadijah flat-footed that well or that often, and, you know, you take your small victories, and I enjoy them.
Well, I'm glad everyone else knows what's going on. It's starting, you know, everybody seems to know what's going on these days except me, and it's just, you know, being on the back foot, not where I like to be. So hoping this will start making sense real fast.
You can be slow, I give you that. If I'm a personal servant and I came to see you and gave you a rock, I stoned you, you might say, where do you suppose that rock would have come from? Just tossing it out.
Well, all right, so I get that part. Definitely get that part. Okay.
I'm sure she'll explain what she wants to explain. She's fine. She's a little cold. It's the age thing. We all know this. You've seen it as they get older. And there's a look on her. You're not quite sure. She is either very new or her beast is not very strong in her. There's actually a slight tinge to her skin that most kindred don't have. Unless she's using blush.
That's always, and he considers that that's possible. He will, you know, keep an eye on her just to see if she exhibits any like tics or, you know, nervous tics of the human condition. See if he can figure out if they're real or if she's faking them.
Oh, she does. As she's whistling, I mean, it seems to like flick her thumb across her finger as like a nervous tick, but yeah, she's doing a good job at not looking nervous, though she is, because you are obvious predator, but she's doing a very good job at not being obvious about it. But you can tell she is nervous.
Lamar won't press the issue with her any further. He'll just, you know, he'll ride up the elevator, though he will smile to himself a bit at that.
When the elevator opens to the top, of course, you're back in that little hallway leading to a very ornate door. You're not even sure that door was originally on that suite. Now that this is the second time you've seen it, it does look like something that may have been imported and placed on the Four Seasons, because if you have enough money, they will do whatever you wish.
I'll say that screams, I have money, let me show you.
And when the door opens up, Khadijah's actually in the main room this time. She doesn't wait to walk out. Good evening, Mr. Cade.
Good evening, Miss Alkindi.
And Aisha immediately goes, he doesn't know. He didn't figure it out. I win. Psst, child, go, get. Scoot. Come on. Go. And you can tell when the tone shifted that it wasn't meant to be argued with. And immediately, Aisha just nods her head and goes right out the door and shuts it behind her. So, Mr. Cade, What brings you to my suite tonight?
First and foremost, I apologize if I lost you $50.
No,
Secondly,
you lost me a vessel. They're replaceable.
All right, fair enough. So I'm gathering from what Miss Aisha told me that that in between what my coterie mates kind of saw happen when we were here last, you and I, you have some business with me, and I'm hoping it's not the kind of business like I did something to you like 10 or 20 years ago that I am about to find out was the last mistake I'm ever going to make.
No, Mr. Cade. Can I call you Lamar?
Please, please.
You can call me Khadijah. Our clan is bound by tradition, obligation. And I had mine that I owed an individual. And at his request, he has called in the marker. And the marker was to guide you, to assist you. In a way that isolates you from him, protects you from him, and is in your best interest, not his. Which is why I told you to throw him under the proverbial bus.
Oh, I backed that bitch right up over him when I
Good.
did it too.
What he did does not follow tradition or obligation. I hold my end, regardless. But it doesn't change what his actions were.
All that and he's still trying to pull strings and move me around on his little board.
I think actually this was one where he was cutting the strings, you might say. We had a talk. He explained what he'd done. He felt he owed you an obligation. One that he would no longer be able to repay. So is where I come in. I believe, well, the tower calls it, I would be your Mola? Archaic term, really. But it's archaic times, I guess.
More things change, more they stay the same, I guess.
You know, that's actually a very true idiom. Your coterie picked up. I let slip, obviously. Do you know what they saw? What gave it away?
Apparently, you were looking at me with anything from, barely concealed disdain all the way up to, hey, he might be kind of cute. And knowing what I know about our kind, I was more moving towards the, barely concealed disdain up to somewhere around. I got to know if this guy is the guy that did the thing in 1996.
We do have a reputation for meting out justice when we feel we were wrong, don't we?
Yes, you do.
But we also have a reputation for making good debts we owe.
That is also part of my knowledge, admittedly limited, about the Banu Hakim.
I know you must question whether you can trust me, given the situation. But how about this? I will let you know something you may want to know. Lucinda has Sierra.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
See, Lucinda is good at what she does. But Michaela was one of us before he was hers. And it pays to keep the Ashira appraised of things.
That makes sense. I mean, so Lucinda's got her. I guess the question is what comes next, because when I see Sierra again, well, I don't want to see her again, but I get a feeling I'm not going to have a choice. Being La Sombra and everything, and she's the head of the delegation, unless they leave her for the sun.
You won't tell me their plans. Our relationship doesn't go that way. He won't betray certain confidences, of course.
Yeah.
But my guess, from my experience, if you see Sierra again, it may not be in the same condition you saw her last. She may be mentally damaged. Natasha is not known for subtlety.
I guess I'm a little torn on how I feel about that, because Sierra and I, we had an understanding. We did work together pretty well, but she's his child, and I know that's where her loyalty lays first. I am expendable.
Obviously not as expendable as you thought. He called in a rather large marker for this. One that squares us even, finally. How she comes out of it will depend on whether she answers Lucinda and whether she gives Lucinda what she wants. Lucinda is the kind that if you give her what she wants, she won't delight in torture or pain. But if you deny her, well, she will get what she wants. That's how she has reached the position she is.
Yeah.
And you have to have that mercy and a reputation for that mercy for those who supply it, or people won't supply it anymore because they know they will get the pain anyway. She has learned quite well that one.
When you put it that way, it makes a lot of sense. But I guess now the question on my mind is, I mean, let's put Sierra aside. She's made her proverbial bed. She's got a lie in it. You and me, this relationship between us, what's that gonna entail?
I'm here in my official capacity. I will advise you. I will try to give you some limited help, provided we can keep it clandestine. I don't think it would help your situation for it to become public knowledge that you are associating with the Banu Hakim representative from the Shura.
So I'm here to be a dirty little secret. All right, I can work with that.
The stone will allow you to think of it as a archaic voicemail.
Right.
It's a very odd thing, well, let's just say that there's a number of chantries who would love to learn that trick. It's one that we keep. Because back in the old days, when you wanted to hire one, how do you get a message to one that people are looking for unless you have a special way to pass a message to say you're looking for their services? Though we do not do that anymore, of course. We have
Of course.
changed that way for obvious reasons.
All right.
But I will give you advice, and I hope, of course, it's up to you to whether you listen or not. But most of my advice will be hopefully useful. And I will hold my end. I will not try to screw you. I take obligation a little more seriously than the Hound did.
All right, well, in the interest of being upfront with you, I am willing to play, that game and maybe trade some information with you here and there, with the caveat that it does not adversely affect my coterie.
Loyal to him. That's actually commendable. Like that. We have to be loyal to those who are loyal to us. Yeah,
I've heard that before, and only recently has it really kind of hit home. So, the whole honor those that honor you, that's going to be my kind of new watchword now. So
any favor I ask, I will make sure is not something that would be a conflict of interest for you. I don't foresee needing to ask you anything at the time, but I will make sure that anything I ask, though it may be beneficial to me, it also benefits you.
All right. I can work with that. I will tell you that a lot of my questions are probably going to concern, how the Camarilla really works in this town, since, I do have people who are positioned at different levels of the game, but I want to know more about how Jackson and his circle moves where possible, because
fucking rat's nest.
Yeah.
Nothing better way to describe it. But I tell you, sit and talk with me. We will discuss a few things.
All right.
And I think this is where we can end this episode, where Khadijah is going to give Lamar, her opinion of how the city is run and where the strengths are, which Lamar will, of course, get out of the episode and will share what he wishes to share. And I would like to thank the players for episode 2. And before I go any further, I'm going to go to the viewer vote and talk about this. Please join our Discord so you can vote for who gets the viewers XP. Because we let the viewers vote on who should get XP. Episode 1 votes were in. Everyone's getting XP for episode 1. More people voted for everyone than individuals. Plus, honestly, first episode of the season, and it was a rough episode. It really was. It was tough to record, tough to watch, and the whole table deserves some XP. So we'll go with that. Of course, pop on the Discord. Please vote for who tonight gets the viewer XP. It could be one person, it could be everybody. For whatever reason, vote for who you think really, pushed it or had good scenes or were clutch, or even if you just liked their outfit. We're not particular about it. If you think Ivy Raven's hair is amazing, vote that shit. Just saying. Hang on. I'll get the angle. There you go. It took me a minute. Of course, if you like what we're doing, you can subscribe here with Prime on Twitch. You can give us a follow on Twitch. You can follow on YouTube for free subscriptions. Go ahead. Bits and donations will go to the players. Subscriptions go to the studio. Bits and donations will go to the players. It's a way to show the players you appreciate what they're doing, because it is an investment for all of us, not just time, but emotional, and it's just an investment in general. Let's just put it like that. It is. Get your season 3 merchandise, everybody.
Season 4 merchandise.
Season 4 merch right here in chat. Look, yeah, get your season 4 merch. And during the break, you saw some amazing posters. Some aren't on the merch store, some are. Check them out. Get the ones, because some of the old stuff, like I warned people, I think we pulled the old stuff off. If not,
at the time of recording, I haven't, but now that you've mentioned it, I will.
Well, no, wait one more week. Y'all have
Okay.
a week to get the previous season shit or you miss out.
Yep.
FOMO. Just going to hit you with the FOMO right now. Check out these people over here, our friends list. There's some amazing content creators. I'm going to give a shout out to Tabletop Titties because Kelly from Tabletop Titties joined us on last Wednesday for You Will Destroy Something Beautiful, and they were amazing, along with Mortuus and Shade Morquinder, Ebonblade. They were amazing. They did a real amazing collaborative storytelling game with Relin.
I loved having those players at my table.
It was great. And Kelly, the whole time, with a cigarette in their hand, and it even had a mask, they broke out. Trust me, you missed out. It was some good shit. I'm going to turn it over to my wife now to do the schedule, because we've got some shit coming up.
Absolutely. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern will be the premiere of the final season, the Chronicle End, of Haunted Chronicles with Tamshu. So that is Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. You want to join it to catch the end of that long-running chronicle that he ran. He had to take some months off due to some personal issues, but he is back with the cast, and they are going to wrap up that story starting tomorrow. Then on Saturday, we have a Call of Cthulhu one-shot run by guest GM Rev Ben Powers. Tiss is going to get a chance to finally play the game she runs so much both on stream and off stream, Call of Cthulhu, because one of her players at her table is going to run the game for her to play. So join us. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, the 25th.
Chaos Gremlin is going to run it for her.
Yep. And then on the 26th, we are back with episode 3 of season 4 of Windy City After Dark at 5 p.m. Eastern. Also coming up in October, we have a jam-packed schedule of content. Great TTRPG games coming up. We are going to be doing a month-long fundraiser for National Breast Cancer Foundation. We are participating in their Game Pink initiative all month long to raise money for that cause. So you won't want to miss out the packed schedule of content that we are going to be producing in October.
It's so packed that I was trying to figure out when I'm going to run a paranoia game, and I got sent the schedule. I'm like, holy shit, wait a minute. When can I wait? I got a schedule in here somewhere?
Speaking of which, there are casting calls now in Discord that you need to get your butts over there to sign up for if you want to play on stream in games with us.
Now, by the time this airs, there's still a paranoia casting call open, and a Zasser Kala casting call will be open by then, because I want to run it for October, because horror game, it's
and very soon, and actually the mage casting call is open until the 21st, so until Tuesday. If you want to get in on that, get in on that. And I will be actually posting a casting call soon for The Way Home, which will be a mini series I start up at the end of October.
So like I said, October, or like Relin said, October is going to be busy, everybody, but it's for a good cause. And we raised money last year, and we're going to raise money again this year, because National Breast Cancer Foundation does a lot of good things for everybody. So we 100% support that. We even have a special Thirsty Sword Lesbians by the GM premiere of Moira, because this will be our first GM on our channel. First chance to be something other than a player. So we're looking forward to that as well. And everybody, mental health, please. Everyone take mental health seriously. Check in on those around you. Check in on friends, family, loved one. Check in on each other. Check in on the people at your table. Because a lot of people aren't okay, and they need sometimes just somebody checking in on them lets them think people care. And it's that lifeline they need. And if you do suffer from mental health issues and you don't have anyone you could talk to, please, in chat right now is a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that you can get in contact with that will talk to you. And they'll try to help you through it, because it's a tough time. And honestly, most of us aren't okay. And hopefully you can get the help you need. There's nothing wrong with it. Mental health is health. It's the same as physical health. If you cut your leg off, you're going to go to a doctor, right? Mental health should be the same way. if you're injured with mental health, you should see somebody about it, because that's the way it is. And I'm going to let R'lyn do her part, because she has her own part that she likes to outro with.
Please, guys, I'm a nurse. I hate when something preventable is basically causing mass casualties at this point. Get your COVID vaccines. Please. Please. Just get it done. Protect yourself, protect everyone around you. It may not prevent you from getting the disease altogether, but it greatly reduces the symptoms, the duration, and how long you are actually infectious. So please, please, please get your vaccines.
And all of you who went to Gen Con, please, I hope you're safe.
I hope you're safe, because that was ridiculous crowd management. That's horrifying. And
I hope you all are safe, that make it back home safely and aren't sick and are well, for those who attend Gen Con, because TTRPG players are definitely a dedicated group. And even if I don't know you, even if you don't play at my table or are part of Discord or anything else, I hope you're safe and I hope you're well. So I'd like to thank this cast and the viewers, of course. Welcome to Season 4. I think the pressure's eased up a little bit compared to what we did last season, but let's see how it goes, everybody. So don't forget to vote, and good night, everyone.